You know, in my mind, I think this is one of the last Eagles albums to show up on 8-track. And this song was a big part of that album, The Long Run. It's I Can't Tell You Why, sung by that beautiful voice singer Timothy B. Schmit. It was written by band members Schmit, Glenn Frey, and Don Henley. Recorded in March '78, it was the first song finished for the album. The first Eagles song to feature Schmit on lead vocals. Only released on February 8, 1980, but recorded in March '78. Released as a single, it became a Billboard Top 10 in April, reaching number 8 in the Billboard Hot 100 and number 3 in the Adult Contemporary chart. It was the group's last Top 10 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. Now, when Schmit provided the song title and composed the nucleus, I Can't Tell You Why, which he then presented to Glenn Frey and Don Henley as they completed the song together. Henley described the finished song as straight Al Green and said that Frey, an R&B fan from Detroit, was responsible for the R&B feel of the song. Frey said to Schmit, "You could sing like Smokey Robinson. Let's do a Richie 4A Poco-sounding song. Let's do an R&B song." Of course, came out on Asylum Records. Now, Seven Bridges Road didn't chart as well as this. Schmit describes the song as loosely based on my own experiences, noting I had some writing sessions with Don and Glenn, and I threw out a bunch of my ideas, and that one for this track stuck. I composed a pretty good part of it, not a huge part, but enough for them to think that could be good and go with it. So Don, Glenn, and I finished over a few all-night sessions. He also said when it was being developed in the studio, I knew it was a great song. I thought, yes, this is an amazing debut for me. When we finally mixed it, we had a little listening party at the studio. As people were hearing it, Don turned to me and said, "There's your first hit." Schmit sang the lead vocals, with Frey and Henley singing counterpoint. Schmit also played the bass on the track, which has a distinctive riff believed by Schmit to have been devised by Frey. According to Henley, Frey wrote the counterpoint part. Now, in 1980, the band promoted a song in a music video featuring Schmit on bass guitar, accompanied by Frey on electric piano, although Frey recorded the guitar solos on the recording with Henley on drums, Don Felder on electric guitar, Joe Walsh on organ, and Walsh's touring sideman Joe Vitale on ARP string synthesizer. Live versions of the song were released on the 1980 album Eagles Live, and 1994 Hell Freezes Over. Schmit also performed I Can't Tell You Why while on tour as a member of the Ringo Starr and his All-Star Band in '92. The performance of the song was included in the '93 live album Ringo Starr and his All-Star Band, Volume 2, Live from Montreux. Cashbox said that Schmidt's aching near falsetto voice here adds immeasurable depth to the haunting quality of this love song with a tastefully sparse instrumental. Record World said that Timothy Schmit, the newest Eagle, lends his sweet falsetto and writing talents to this pretty love ballad. In 2017, Billboard ranked the song number 6 on his list of the 15 greatest Eagles songs. In 2019, Rolling Stone ranked the song number 11 on the top 40 of the Eagles songs. Ultimate classic rock critic Sterling Whitaker rated it as the Eagles' 5th most underrated song, praising Schmidt's beautiful falsetto and Frey's melodic guitar solo. Now, it was a B-side. It was called "The Geeks Don't Want No Freaks." This was the promo single, and so was the A and B side. Now, in 1989, former lead singer of the Manhattans, Gerald Alston, covered it for Motown Records. It reached number 52 in the Billboard Hot R&B Hip-Hop Singles and Tracks. In 1990, R&B singer Howard Ewart covered I Can't Tell You Why, which is on his very best of Howard Ewart album. It peaked at number 24 in the Billboard Hot R&B Hip-Hop Singles and Tracks. In 1993, I Can't Tell You Why was covered by Vince Gill for Eagles' tribute album Common Thread, The Songs of the Eagles. Schmit sang backing vocals of the recording. The version went to number 42 in the Hot Country Songs chart. In 1995, R&B group Brownstone covered a song on their debut album From the Bottom Up. The version reached number 4 in the Billboard Hot 100, number 22 in the R&B chart, and number 27 in the UK Top 75. Alternative rock band Laszlo Bain covered a song for the 2007 cover album Guilty Pleasures. Now, Diana Krall, our great Canadian jazz pianist and singer, did a version on her album Wallflower in 2015. Her version reached number 10 on the Billboard Smooth Jazz chart. Again, Timothy Schmit, lead vocals, bass guitar, Don Henley on drums and backing vocals, Don Felder on guitar, Glenn Frey on guitar solos backing vocals, Joe Walsh on Hammond organ, Fender Rhodes electric piano, and RP string synthesizer. In Canada, top 5, Adult Contemporary number 2, Netherlands 49, New Zealand 11, Billboard Top 8, and U.S. Adult Contemporary Top 3, again a bigger hit in Canada. Canada RPM year-end singles charts for 1980, 43rd. Billboard Hot 100 at 62. So the idea, this was a type of song that was getting played a lot of bars, a lot of requests, a lot of covers. But the falsetto that Timothy Schmit put in, that's pretty well one of his most famous songs. Now, Timothy B. Schmit, again, born October 30, 47, he performed as a bass player for rock bands Poco and Eagles, having replaced Randy Meisner in both cases. Schmit has also worked for decades as a session musician and solo artist. And again, in 98, he was inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Eagles. Now, his career was quite interesting. He was raised in Sacramento and started in folk music in a band called Tim, Tom, and Ron at the age of 15. The group evolved into a surf band called the Contenders, then changed his name to the New Breed, sometimes known simply as the Breed. As a New Breed, he had a major local hit in Sacramento, the Animals-inspired Green-Eyed Woman, which was released in '65 and hit number 1 in the local top 40 outlet KXOA. The track also charted on an isolated stage in Virginia, Indiana. A few more locally only hits followed before the group changed its name once again to Glad. The group recorded their solo studio album Feeling Glad in '68. Now, he did audition for Poco in '68, but was turned down. But when Meisner quit the band in '69, he replaced him on bass, and the rest is history. He was also wrote and was a lead vocalist on his song Keep On Trying, Poco's biggest hit single to that point, which was number 50 on the Billboard Hot 100. Now, apart from Poco, he also contributed backing vocals to Firefall's '77 hit, Just Remember Love You, backing vocals on the Steely Dan studio albums, Pretzel Logic, The Royal Scam in Asia. Schmit also sang backing vocals on Never Let Her Slip Away, a top 5 UK hit for Andrew Gold in '78, along with Brock Walsh, J.D. Souther, and uncredited Freddie Mercury of Queen. Now, in '74, he played bass guitar alongside guitarist Glenn Frey and drummer Don Henley in the song You Can Close Your Eyes, featured on Linda Ronstadt's 5th solo album, Heart Like a Wheel, and of course, joined Eagles after the tour of Hotel California. I think Timothy B. Schmit, again, one of the most underrated musicians of his era, and when he joined the Eagles, it just that more people got a chance to hear him. But what he did in Poco and what he did with his own stylings, probably one of the most important bass players of the rock era, if you look at it, because all what he did as a touring artist and a session player, just tremendous, and a great vocalist. That beautiful falsetto for the song is tremendous. If you're a certain age, I'm 60 now, I know as a teenager, when he played the Eagles at a teen dance, he would normally play the song. So if you like what you're doing with our behind the tracks profiles of the Eagles, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share.